This is a great battle. This isn't just a great battle for the race, this is a great battle for the championship. Fastest lap, Max Edmundson.
Oh.
This is getting tasty now, side by side into Druids. Oh, is that Thackeray?
That's
No!
the championship leader. The penultimate race of the season for the Miltech Sports Civic Cup. They've got one more to come later on this afternoon, but this is going to be a real nail-biter after qualifying took place. It was, in the end, though, Dan Thackeray, the championship leader, who took the pole position, and with it, 6 championship points. Max Edmundson, though, his nearest rival, will start second as they come into this first race. Dan Thackeray versus Max Edmundson on row 1, and Max Edmundson knows he has to try and get ahead of Dan Thackeray. Let's see if he can do it. The lights are out, we're away and racing, and it is a good start by Thackeray. He's going to hold the lead. It's Thackeray leading, but Max Edmundson already challenging as they head towards Druid's corner. Max Edmundson, we know, is not afraid to get stuck in, goes around the outside line. He's on the dirty side of the road.
Oh.
Does he have the grip? Not quite.
It's good to see the two championship protagonists having a right old battle.
It is Thackeray the leader, Edmundson second, Caton third, Marshall fourth, and it's all going wrong here for Ali Camp as he turns into Paddock Hill Bend, then goes for the wide line in to try and get the tight line out, which I think is what Edmundson did as well, because he's had a run on Thackeray as they head towards Druid's corner. It's so tight between these two in the championship that Edmundson knows a race win in this first race could make all the difference.
Yeah, he's been the man on a mission, isn't he, Dan Thackeray? And yeah, Motion Motorsport doing an amazing job. Fastest lap, Max Edmundson.
Oh.
This is getting tasty now, side by side into Druids. That's going to be a brave move, and how hard will Max Edmundson want to fight? Because I tell you, Dan Thackeray will not like this.
16 points between them coming into this race after Dan Thackeray took an extra point in qualifying than Edmundson did. So 16 points the difference, but it's a 5-point swing between winning a race and finishing second. So Edmundson knows how important it would be to get through 10. And remember, it's a top 10 reversal for race 2. Edmundson at the inside of Thackeray at Paddock. That almost ended in tears. They just managed to keep it clean, but Thackeray is struggling here.
That's respect, that's respect. That in any other championship there'd have been a tap there for sure. Brilliant stuff from Edmundson. Could have kept his nose in and said, he turned across me, mate, but that wasn't the case. Look how close Max Edmundson is. They're in a different class, these guys, but this is where he's so slow. This is it. He's going to try and get back underneath him, is he? But he gets on the power too early and too soon. But will he be in the tow? This is where it looks like Edmundson just takes chunks out of him now. He's going to make him defend again.
Thackeray did tell me at Silverstone he felt his car was down on power slightly. I'm beginning to think there's some truth to that, but he's defending the inside line as they head for Paddock Hill Bend through the right-hander. Can he get the switch back this time? Thackeray just manages to close the door. That was really close. Again, great respectful racing, but how long can they keep this up for?
This is a great battle. This isn't just a great battle for the race, this is a great battle for the championship. The respect that I've seen in 99.9% of this series should be shown to everyone.
It is, isn't it? This is how side-by-side tin top racing should be. Right, as it stands, 20 points the cushion between Thackeray and Edmundson, so 41 points will be available after the race. It would go down to the wire, but Edmundson wants to try and outscore him if he can. Crucially though, Paul, as you've just spotted, the fastest lap at the moment going to none of the title contenders.
One time you're racing Dave Marshall and... Oh, is that Thackeray?
That's
No!
the championship leader. The engine has blown on Dan Thackeray's car. He's out of the race. Surely Max Edmundson is going to pick up a race win, and there are no dropped scores. This is disaster for Thackeray. He's about to lose 40 championship points to Max Edmundson in the most heartbreaking of fashion. He was leading, he was pulling away. I just noticed that they were side by side across the line according to the timing screen, and that is why, Paul, I don't know what to say. They go past what remains of Dan Thackeray's car. Hopefully they can get a new engine in that for race 2. He would be 20 points behind Max Edmundson as it stands, and Alistair Camp needs a couple more places to get back into it himself.
And this is it.
Wow is about the best way to sum that up, I think. Max Edmundson is a winner again in the Miltech Sports Civic Cup, and that is his most significant victory to date. It gives him a 20-point championship lead going into the finale. Now, Dan Thackeray scores 0 points. There is Dan. We say this quite often in motorsport. It can be a really cruel thing, and something completely out of his hands has potentially robbed him of the championship. It's not over yet, but it's an uphill struggle. Provisionally, we are saying it's actually a 23-point lead for Max Edmundson going into the finale. So 23 points, 41 still up for grabs.
You've got to make sure you watch this last race of Civic Cup.
So they've only got about 2 hours That's going to be pushing it, I think, to get that engine in. But if they can, he'll be starting somewhere around 20th on the grid. Only 10 places behind Max, but he needs to then outscore him by a reasonable amount. Then we have Dave Marshall and Max Edmundson, top two from the earlier race. And Max Edmundson, with that victory and a non-finish for Dan Thackeray, has now moved into a fairly healthy championship lead. Dan Thackeray will start 20th. We've heard he is in the assembly area with a new engine fitted, we believe. Basically, Max Edmundson, if he finishes inside the top 6 in this race, is the champion regardless. There, Paul O'Neill, is the best news we've had all day. Dan Thackeray has got the car out on track. Now, I don't know whether it's been a full engine change. Right then, the sun's shining here at Brands Hatch as the Miltech Sports Civic Cup's 2023 season prepares to come to a thrilling conclusion. The red lights are on, and for the final time this year, we're away and racing in the Civic Cup. Squeezed in the middle, and the race leader, Owen Hillman, is sideways in front of the pack. He saves it, but they will all scatter to avoid. Watch Edmundson, he's on the outside line, and that could be in the firing line if it all goes wrong. Someone locking up right in front of him. Edmundson trying desperately to stay out of trouble, as it very nearly all fell apart in front of him.
Yeah, that could have been absolutely horrendous. Thackeray already in the middle of the pack. That Tommy Knight.
Oh, it is! He's coming back into the road, somehow again saves it, and Edmundson once more finds himself in the thick of it all. There's cars bouncing down the grass. That's Lewis Kent, I think, heading for the barriers, but just manages to avoid. And in all of that with a championship too, because actually Thackeray has had a brilliant start. He gained loads of places through the first few corners. There is Dave Marshall, Harvey Caton out wide, Max Edmundson in that fight as well. But where is Thackeray? He's only 3 places, look, behind Max Edmundson.
Well, there's still 2 and 3 abreast, and Dave Marshall has not let him pass, but Edmundson sideways past him, and he needed to get that done, and now Thackeray has got to follow him and got to get on with this.
That was a big pass though for Edmundson. More contact right in front of Thackeray, who's just got to go where they're not really at the moment. And Dan, well, interestingly, doesn't just dive on the inside of Graham Hill Bend, as I think I'd have been tempted to do, and that might now cost him on the exit of the corner. But yeah, Edmundson getting past Marshall was big, I think.
That's him gone, but Thackeray will have got one more place, and that's Jordan Brennan in front, isn't it? So he needs to get past him. He's done it. Yeah. Wow, there's nothing wrong with that car, is there?
No, good horsepower down the straight. Brennan, in fairness, didn't make life difficult for him. Just calming down a bit. Edmundson sits in 5th position right now. Thackeray in 12th, but Thackeray, despite that early progress that he made, not having the rub of the green since then. Not really making the steaming progress that he'd like. That's Edmundson up the inside of Bensley. Bit of a hip and shoulder on the apex, and Edmundson's through.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It was a good move, but Bensley will not be having any of that.
He and Owen Hillman are both really going to be gunning for that race win. But this, Paul, is a fascinating battle. Alistair Camp's car doesn't look like it's handling very well. He misses the apex by a country mile, and Edmundson's on the inside. Camp tried to close the door. This could be disastrous if it all goes wrong, but Edmundson might just have the run into paddock.
This is where Max Edmundson doesn't want to be. Look at this now. This is not good. This isn't good. He ain't giving this up, and does Edmundson want to play ball? Well, Campy gives it up, but he'll try and get the cut back, but that car just understeered past the apex, didn't it? Campy's car. Oh, now his teammate's having a big lunge up the inside. He's had some luck on these opening laps.
He has just lost a point, interestingly, to Dan Thackeray, because Thackeray has just moved into the top 10 and set the fastest lap as well, so he gets that bonus point back. But you can see he's stuck behind Liam McGill in that secondary pack of cars. Even once he passes McGill, I think he'll struggle to get back on terms with the leaders. This has got the makings of a lively battle, I think, between these 4. They're being dropped by Edmundson now, who wants to win the championship with a race win. And honestly, Paul, the pace he's got, I wouldn't bet against him.
Oh, here we go. Thackeray, another place. And McGill is a fast old peddler. That's a great move to get that done.
Yeah, he's got up the inside through Clark Curve, inside line for Paddock Hill Bend. I'll tell you what, that car is performing really well under the circumstances, isn't it? Fastest lap for Thackeray, and he's in now to 8th position. Then we're now past half race distance. So, in a way, what Thackeray wants is a safety car. Right, Max Edmundson on the tail of Owen Hillman for 2nd. 2 drivers ahead of him now who have never won in this championship, and they might just put up a bit more of a fight.
You start making them defend. It's like going in your back garden and just... Oh, that's a great move. He's got that done really well. It's like going in your back garden and starting to push a hornet's nest. Oh, big lock up from the leader. Alex Kite has probably just thought, I'm going to be next. He's going to get me.
6.25 minutes to go. Max Edmundson, let's not forget, started 10th on the grid as well. So not only is this a great drive in the context of the championship battle, but also a great drive full stop to come from 10th on such a competitive grid, make lots of really good, bold, aggressive but clean overtakes, and he now only needs to make 1 more and he will be crowned champion as a race winner as well. In towards Paddock Hill Bend they go, just under 6 minutes remain. Is he going to lunge up the inside? Yes, he is. Max Edmundson commits to the move on the inside line. Alex Kite had no answer to that, and Edmundson goes from 10th to the lead in 9 minutes, Paul. Thackeray, by the way, is catching this group of cars. Catching is one thing and then making his way through them another, but he is at least going to give himself half a chance of breaking into the top half dozen or so. We've got 2.5 minutes to go. And Dan Thackeray is continuing to march up towards this group. 1.6 seconds now adrift. Still a good effort this from Dan Thackeray. Just to get the car out there is impressive, and the fact that he's had the pace to charge through the field in this way has been more than I really expected of him.
The only thing is that he'll be seeing what's going on ahead of him and he'll be absolutely gutted. He can't do anything about it.
A lot of young drivers could learn from this man though, Max Edmundson. What a season he's put together from a whole host of penalties that he was picking up in those early rounds. He had race-winning pace from right back at the first race of the season at Snetterton, where he battled Jack Harding for a win. He went off the track on the last lap, cut the corner, didn't give the place back, and was subsequently penalised. There were other penalties that came his way in the next couple of rounds, and Max, I think, went away, took a good, long, hard look at himself, realised that's not the way that I need to go about winning championships, and through the second half of the season, he has completely and utterly transformed. I'm so proud of this young man. Max Edmundson brings the Area Motorsport car out of Clearways and Clark Curve. It's going to be another race win, but this time it's going to be a first ever championship in the Miltech Sports Civic Cup for Max Edmundson. Max Edmundson victorious at Brands Hatch, and he wins the championship in style. It is all about Max Edmundson, and we're going to see some real emotion from this kid because he is an emotional individual. You can read every emotion that he's feeling on his face at all times, and this is going to be a real mix of emotions, I think, on what we know. That's that this man is a deserving champion. He stands atop his number 33 Honda Civic, jumps down, and I think he's well and truly full of adrenaline right now. Max Edmundson is your champion in the best way possible as well, coming from 10th on the grid to win the final race. He didn't have to win, he could have just tootled around in 10th place. That was more than enough, more than likely, to win the championship, but that is not the Max Edmundson way. He wanted to go out fighting, and he did exactly that. Max Edmundson this year is the one doing the celebrating. Area Motorsport ready there. Josh Fars, I think, is part of that group. Rob Baker, team boss. That's George Al Williams, who raced for the team. This is how the race did finish. Max Edmundson victorious in the end by nearly 4 seconds as well. He stroked it home there at a comfortable margin. Dan Thackeray, 8th from the back of the grid. A heroic effort. The unluckiest man at Brands Hatch, quite honestly. And he is, I'm sure, going to be gutted, but he'll also be the first, I think, to go and congratulate Max Edmundson when he gets a chance.